And yes, the time has come. The days are getting just a little longer, and the sun is just getting that little bit warmer. You only have to look outside to find that spring has well and truly begun. And with it, it has sprung me into action. You can see me here putting up the nest box on the 10th of February. A beautiful day, and the birds were singing, and I had a lot of hope for this nest box. Not only that, I have upgraded all the cameras so the quality this year is better than ever before. So the birds we see, we are going to be seeing crystal clear. And so what birds are going to visit? We're going to put the face in the nest box now. And so what stories are going to play out? Looking sparse now, but let me tell you, it doesn't take long to attract some interest. On the 13th of February, we had our first visit, and it's suitably a blue tit fitting. A beautiful blue tit coming in to start the year off, and what a magnificent looking bird, if I do say so myself. So this time of year, I would automatically assume that this is a male prospecting a nest box, and it's still quite early for them to be paired up. But I do believe they are, because this male blue tit comes back a couple of hours later, and he brings a friend along. A female blue tit is going to land in a nest box in just a couple of moments. And like always at this time of year, the females just aren't as interested as the males. The males are always very eager. But it's not just the blue tits showing interest in this nest box. We've also had great-tits. A much bigger bird, but equally as beautiful if I do say so myself. And I've never got to watch them nest in the side view nest box. So I personally would be quite happy to see either species nest. Can really see that this bird is formidably bigger than the blue tits, and if push came to shove, there's really nothing the blue tits could do if the great tits decided to nest. And now I could have put a nest guard on the front of this nest box to only allow blue tits in, but I actually don't mind which species nest in this nest box, so I'm going to keep it at the 32mm that allows just great tits and blue tits, and anything smaller, no bigger birds can get in, thankfully. So on the 19th of February, the male blue tit is back. And just look at the female blue tit that's about to come in, and pay a special attention to her legs. There is no left foot. Making us wait for it. It's Wendy from last year, so she is back in the game and out looking and prospecting nest sites at the moment. But Willow and Wendy will not have it their own way this year by the looks of things. They have competition. The great tits are showing more interest than ever in this nest box this year, I must say. And the male great tit we can see here with the thick band and beautiful contact calls has brought back his female. So what is she going to think of this nest box? He's trying his best to coax her into the box. He nearly seems excited about it. So he decides to get out of her way, but not today. And so we skip to the 5th of March, and the blue tits and great tit visits have been pretty regular. We see the male blue tit what I know to be Willow back. I'm assuming it's the same bird from last year, but how do I know it's Willow? Well, there is an incoming Wendy at the moment, and she is going to be joining Willow in the box. So again, take special note of her claws and note that she is actually still missing her left foot. I might even zoom in on it for you guys here. Willow just doing some pecking first, of course. And just after a few minutes, he gets joined by Wendy. And if we take a look, we can very clear that there is no left foot there, so we know for a fact that this is actually Wendy from last year. A bird that all you guys named. And so how did she find the nest box? Well, it was quite a brief visit. But what does show more interest today is the great-tits. The great-tits arrive at 2 o'clock on the same day. And I believe this is the female of the great-tits, as the band on her chest just isn't as defined as the male we saw earlier. Has a brief look round and then heads on her way. But the following day we had a visit from Wendy and Willow again, and this time Wendy seems to show a little bit more interest than the day before. And so we see Willow arrive at the nest boxes. Male blue-tits generally do go in first, and like a gentleman, he does make sure everything's a-okay and does all his preliminary checks, followed by a lovely example of a nest swap, and in comes Wendy. And you can see her there, very clearly identifiable by her one leg. Willow on the outside, still making sure everything's, as it should be. Not realizing that all the decisions lie with Wendy and whether she wants to make another nest here this year. So no nesting wriggles or anything like that, just a bit of a thorough check around the nest box. And later on in the day, we also had a visit again from the great-tits. You can hear them incoming. Much noisier birds, their contact calls are much louder to one another. And just like the blue-tits, the male comes in first and hunkers down to try to coax the female in. And we can see that very dominant chest band on the great-tit there, letting us know that he is the male also. There's a little bit of sexual dimorphism with great-tits, where it's much harder to tell with the blue-tits. Sexual dimorphism just being the difference between male and female birds, or any animal for that matter. So does he manage to coax her into the nest box? You can see he really is trying to persuade her to come in. He obviously likes this nest box, and who wouldn't? And so she actually makes him leave, and will she come into the nest box this time for him? And with much deliberating, she actually eventually does, I will let you know. But this is the last sequence of this episode, so I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again. Bye bye.